No matter how many times the internet tries to cancel him, somehow 6ix9ine always finds his way back into the spotlight. But despite the fact that it's been years since he was taken seriously as a rapper, if nobody cares about 6ix9ine's music anymore, then how does he keep going so viral?
Slide 459. I talk facts. Vlad, I talk facts.
Oh, you're right.
I'm organic. Wherever I go, if I'm not here, I'm in Spanish. If I'm not in Spanish, I come back.
Every few months, it's a guarantee that 6ix9ine will pop back up and become unavoidable on the internet. But again, our question remains, how is 6ix9ine still winning in a game that has already canceled him? 6ix9ine's career should have been over a long time ago, and to be honest, there have been multiple months where it seemed like it was, such as most recently back in March, when 6ix9ine was forced to watch 63 of his personal chains and even music plaques get auctioned off by the IRS after not paying his taxes, thus allowing fans to literally purchase some of his most prized achievements.
Baby, yo, shut up. Oh my god, guys, yo, we just got this thing in. You have no idea how excited I am to see this thing. Here we go. Oh my god, this thing is sick. No joke, it actually looks sick up here. We usually put Christmas stockings right here, but I like 6ix9ine up there anyway.
But despite how demoralizing this must have been for 6ix9ine, and despite the entire internet now assuming he was broke, as the cycle always seems to go though, 6ix9ine has found his way right back into the spotlight.
Doesn't mean you have to put hands on it. Right?
You know why people don't like me? I took the truth. Yo, you did this? Yes.
Yeah. You're admitted to it. Yeah.
I admit to everything. I did that.
We talked about everything. He didn't duck anything. I think I personally, for me, it's the biggest interview. I think it's my my interview of the year. When the dust settles, we'll see how other people take it, but it's getting a lot of views right now.
6ix9ine's new interview with DJ Vlad is indeed getting a lot of views right now. Just passing 15 million in a month to be precise. Again, this will likely go down as the biggest interview of the entire year. Whether you love him or hate him, 6ix9ine just won't go away. But yet, as we're about to answer, there is one key reason that is actually hidden in his new contract, which will tell us all we need to know.
He hasn't really made that many waves over the last couple years, and it's almost like people had really counted him out in terms of even being somebody that people were interested in. And now it seems like people have a renewed interest in him, but I'm curious if that could ever translate to the music.
Believe it or not, there was actually a time when 6ix9ine was one of the hottest up-and-coming rappers in the game, beginning to gain mainstream traction in 2017 thanks to his classic SoundCloud hit Pulse 1469, a collab with his old pal Trippie Redd, another SoundCloud legend, who 6ix9ine now states, though,
he's trash. But like I said, he was buzzing. So listen, this funny. Damn, I want to take my glasses off because it complements the wig and the shoes. So like if I take the glasses off, I really want to take them off.
How do you?
All right.
In addition to dissing Trippie Redd and multiple other rappers throughout his 3.5-hour sit-down interview, 6ix9ine does not hold back at all as he tells his life story, revealing new insights into the most controversial moments of his career, starting by telling us this about his breakout solo hit from 2017 titled Gummo, currently sitting at 500 million views just on YouTube.
Trippie Redd said the Gummo beat was supposed to be for him, but you stole it.
Stole that shit. That's what I do, nigga. Nigga, I stole that shit.
Don't even deny it. That's cool.
I talk facts. What deny? What? Give me that. You don't know what to do with that.
Okay.
You know when a nigga got a girl, her shit fat, bro, you don't know what to do with that. Give me that. That's what I did to that little nigga. Give me that. You don't know what to do with that. Pierre Bourne, I took his shit because they don't know what to do with that. Pierre Bourne could have hopped on his shit. He could have hopped on his own shit. Hey, yo, Pierre, come out here and do what? And you know Gummo's a Trippie Redd diss, right?
I didn't realize that.
Yeah.
Okay.
As it turns out, not only did 6ix9ine steal the Gummo beat, but he also dissed Trippie Redd on it too. Yet, despite its now double platinum status, if you ask the producer behind Gummo's fire instrumental though, Pierre Bourne, Pierre would take it all back in an instant.
I never wanted to have anything to do with that song just because of how they went about releasing it. It was very disrespectful, very like you, basically. And it's like, I didn't want the money.
F that Gummo song. All y'all doing weird shit some ops, I swear. Read this post by Pierre. No more Trippie and Pierre, y'all ruined it. Upset that his beat was stolen and released without permission. Obviously, 6ix9ine though didn't seem to care, which is something that you'll notice will just continue to be a bigger theme as we advance through this video. 6ix9ine lives for chaos. But it is this very same chaos that is barely keeping him afloat today. Like for real, why is he out here playing shows in just his underwear? However, prior to trying everything he can think of for views, back in 2018 though, numbers were not an issue for 6ix9ine and his music. Following a string of more viral hits, then arrived the release of 6ix9ine's debut album, Dummy Boy. charting as high as number 2 on Billboard, and led by the smash hit single Fifi featuring Nicki Minaj, which would also reach double platinum certification as well. Before then, as we can see here, 6ix9ine's Fifi plaque actually got auctioned off to fans for $6,000, along with 20 other of his music plaques that we're about to learn, including the one for his debut album. But yet, while at this point after Fifi, 6ix9ine was still at least somewhat respected as a rapper, as 2019 rolled around though, 6ix9ine's career was never the same. In 2019, news broke that rapper 6ix9ine was facing the potential of life in prison, as according to the feds, Daniel Hernandez, aka 6ix9ine, was facing numerous charges of racketeering and firearms to just list a few, and had assisted in the shooting at rival 9 Trey Blood Gang at a hotel in Times Square. Thus, as a result, with 6ix9ine's buzzing rap career also facing life behind bars too. That was until this happened.
Mr. Hernandez, how old are you?
23.
You're old. You go by any other names?
Yes.
What are those?
Tekashi 6ix9ine.
Mr. Hernandez, do you recognize anyone in the courtroom who was a member of 9 Trey when you were a member?
Yes.
In February of 2019, TMZ reported that Tekashi 6ix9ine was officially striking a deal with the feds, both pleading guilty to his 9 counts, and then even agreeing to testify against his co-defendants, with the New York Times literally stating, Mr. Hernandez was, quote, an eager and cooperative witness, and provided an insider's look into the activities of the 9 Trey Gang. Now, the 9 Trey Gang is a blood gang that was founded decades ago, and who 6ix9ine used to be cool with members even appearing in his old Gummo video. However, 6ix9ine did not stop there, going on to then talk about fellow rappers in the industry too, such as exposing that Trippie Redd was supposedly a gang member, as well as fellow New York superstar Cardi B. Although, according to his new interview, as he basically directs the editing clip for Vlad as he goes, 6ix9ine wants to make one thing very clear.
Grab this clip, this DJ Vlad clip, make it a split screen, and see who was asking me questions. Harv's attorney cross-examined me and brought them up. I never spoke on Cardi B, that's how their name came up. But the narrative to make 6ix9ine look bad is like, yo, he was telling on everybody.
Regardless of who actually brought the names up first though in court, 6ix9ine's decision to snitch on the stand in 2019 quickly destroyed his reputation in hip-hop. As I'm sure you guys know, gaining the reputation of a rat is about the #1 worst thing that can happen to you as a rapper. Like, we have seen countless rap careers end for this exact reason, and at least at first, 6ix9ine looked like he would be another. However, in exchange for his cooperative behavior in court though, and being a good little 6ix9ine, after prosecutors then asked the judge to issue a much lighter sentence, 6ix9ine's sentence was instead reduced to only 2 years, thanks to his helpful testimony against the 9 Trey gangsters, which, as you'd expect, was a massive relief for 6ix9ine.
After cooperating, you're originally facing 47 years. By the way, do you ever think you're actually going to do 47 years?
I don't know. I never been locked up in no federal jail. I said I'm taking 47 years. Maybe they chop it in half, give me 20 years. You know what I mean? I don't know. I never been in that.
It was football numbers regardless.
Yeah, I pled guilty 47 years.
Rather than 47 years, 6ix9ine was instead home even sooner thanks to the COVID pandemic and lockdown, transferring him to supervised house arrest in May of 2020. But with no other rappers wanting to come close to him due to his new reputation, with his back totally against the wall, 6ix9ine pulled off the impossible. If there's one thing you can't deny about 6ix9ine is that he knows exactly how to market himself for views. Like the very first time that he went live on Instagram after jail, 6ix9ine literally broke the Instagram record for the most viewers ever in a live stream, with over 2 million accounts tuning in all at once, as 6ix9ine did this.
Listen, we can't beef. There's no beef. I'm the king. Y'all know this. Listen, you know why people so mad? Cause they thought it was over for me. They counted me out. Oh, you ratted, it's over for you. Y'all could never cooperate with the government and come back. Y'all could never do that. I'm a living legend at the age of 24 years old. You hear me? Look at these 1.6 million.
Finally getting the chance to speak his mind, and of course talk more shit, as he says, quote, I tell everyone I am a troll, which was also obvious from the first video that 6ix9ine released after jail. With the typical 6ix9ine title, Gooba, released in May of 2020 after getting permission from the judge, this new single, Gooba, would go on to break the YouTube record for the most views in the first 24 hours on a hip-hop music video. Now, were all of these views real? Well, we'll get into that more in a sec. But by now fully embracing his new image of a rat, obviously 6ix9ine's strategy seemed to be working, at least in terms of views. Again, drawing in 2 million users and almost breaking the entire Instagram app before then, going on to show off his crazy jewelry collection.
I'm gonna get back to this. Hold on. Let me take all this jewelry off. I don't give my old jewelry back to get new jewelry. This is $500,000. $500,000. Look at the diamonds in them teeth. and nobody got this watch. Well, I think like 2 people got it, but if you don't got this watch, we can't beef. Me and you are not in the same bracket.
According to 6ix9ine, his instantly recognizable Bruce the Shark chain, you can see right here, was said to have been purchased for over $500,000. However, little did 6ix9ine know that in just 5 short years later, the IRS would end up auctioning off his precious shark chain for a lot cheaper, $60,000. But by now you are probably wondering, if 6ix9ine was breaking all of these records with his music and on YouTube, then how did his music career crash down so fast? And in my opinion, there's no better place to start than his next single. While essentially everyone on the internet, including myself, believed that no mainstream artist would ever work with him again after his court case, 6ix9ine's second song back quickly proved us wrong. Teaming up again with one of the biggest female rappers, Nicki Minaj, debuting at #1 on the Billboard charts, marking a first of 6ix9ine's career, this new collaboration titled Trolls was a massive success. Or at least, so we initially thought.
Oh, yeah! Did I tell you? Did I tell you, nigga? Fuck you, I can't be stopped, nigga. Didn't I tell you? #1, nigga. And this for the fans. This shit can't be possible without y'all.
A few moments later.
Trolls goes to #1, but then fell to 34 its second week, which was the largest position drop from a #1 in charts history.
Can I say?
Yeah.
I was so heavy on bashing Billboard that they trying to make me look bad. You know what I mean? I bashed them and I exposed the world, right? That you can buy #1s. I exposed the world that these numbers are inflated. I exposed the music industry, right?
Revealing to us that 6ix9ine and his team instead paid their way for Trolls to go #1, something that is unfortunately pretty common in the music industry, such as Young Thug most recently, who admitted to inflating Gunna's album. However, here in the case of 6ix9ine though, this was pretty obvious, as Trolls would not only break the record for the biggest position drop after the first week in chart history, but then by the 4th week, Trolls was totally off of the charts. Yet it took years for 6ix9ine to finally admit this, because back then, he initially tried to argue that he was being blackballed by the industry, claiming that streaming platforms such as Spotify and Apple Music were no longer showing him any support, and instead were now hiding all of his new releases on their platforms.
I'm saying, so I'm kind of in a weird space because now I'm.
So you feel like you're getting cheated?
Yeah, well, I know I'm getting cheated. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like they're making me pay the price for outing that. You know what I'm saying?
So you're saying they basically denied you some of these other promotional things, like when you open up your phone.
Everybody else gets. I can show you right now, and then like you can open up your phone.
Even taking it to the news to try and show proof, 6ix9ine argued that this blackball treatment would only get worse with his 2020 album. Titled Tattletales, and with this rainbow cover art, combined with selling a lower 55,000 in first week sales, this project in 2020 was more proof of where 6ix9ine's music career was headed, which was not in the right direction.
It's getting to the point where the mythology of him is beginning to overshadow his music. Many of the tracks he's been dropping as of late only serve as another opportunity for him to stir the pot. In a way, I know it makes sense because he rose to prominence as a rapper, but it's still kind of easy to see 6ix9ine as more of a social media clown than a musician today.
As the next few years went on, this statement by Fantana would prove even more true. To continue to try and push the narrative that his music was being hidden, in January of 2024, with no announcement or any type of rollout, out of nowhere, 6ix9ine decided to release his latest project, Blackballed. And to be honest, don't feel like you're alone if you had no idea this album ever existed. At a total of 9 tracks, each in that typical 6ix9ine sound and style, which is also a big reason why interest in his music has plummeted. He's never really evolved as an artist. But the most notable feature on this project though, a surprising verse from Kodak Black. Being the street and gang-affiliated rapper that he is, I don't think anyone ever expected Kodak Black to link up with 6ix9ine for a song. And while you might be wondering, why does he look so happy hugging up next to a snitch? After hearing though that Kodak was literally paid $1 million for this one verse, it definitely makes a little more sense.
It's an M. That's an M, homie.
One song.
One song, bro.
For 16.
And what the f? Man, I understand the value of $1. I don't even know the niggas he told on.
We're in on
and I ain't even from over there. Niggas that's some shit like, nigga, that's y'all rap.
And they're like, yo, 6ix9ine paid $1 million for Kodak. No, it was their song. They paid the $1 million. We did the video, we shot it. When Fume was like, if we're gonna pay the $1 million, if we're gonna pay the $1 million, we want the ownership of the record, because how are we gonna recoup on that?
Revealing that their recent track was actually a collab song with a vape company called Fume. Although he no doubt got paid a nice bag from it, 6ix9ine's latest album would fail to reach any of the charts. And again, absolutely no one talked about it. At this point, I think it's safe to say that 6ix9ine's peak as a music artist is long gone. Yet, why is he still relevant then? Pretty much any other rapper in 6ix9ine's shoes would have already called it quits a while ago, especially after what went down in March. Right before bouncing back and securing the biggest paycheck that DJ Vlad has ever spent on one single interview, first arrived this wild headline to kick off the year. 6ix9ine's jewelry, music plaques, and designer bags are being auctioned off by the IRS, with proof to show they weren't lying. Back in March of 2025, an online auction went live, selling away some of 6ix9ine's most prized possessions, including everything from his rainbow grills here, selling for $6,000, which I really hope they wash first, his iced out jigsaw pennant for $17K, multiple Rolexes and very expensive watches, as well as, again, his RIAA plaques for all of the biggest hits and albums of his career.
I won! Let's go! Let's go! Let's go! We got it! 3,100 bucks! 3,100 bucks! With shipping, with taxes, and the auction fees, we're looking at $3,968. We got it, baby! If you can't tell, I'm extremely nervous. I waited over 2 months for this moment and spent over $10,000 on this video. My heart was beating out of my chest. And finally, it's Tekashi. Can I give this back to you, bro? This was a 2-month-long process for 2 seconds. We'll get him next time.
Despite ignoring this YouTuber who tried to return the gold plaque for his old Day 69 mixtape, which will instead now hang forever in this guy's living room, in total, 63 of Tekashi's personal items were all put up for auction to fans with money to blow, with his Bruce the Shark chain that we saw earlier going for the most at $60K. However, how did the IRS even get these items in the first place? A year prior, back in 2024, news broke that 6ix9ine's house in Florida had been raided by IRS agents, with multiple sports cars then seized by the government in these viral clips that flooded social media, which, as 6ix9ine himself then tried to explain, all happened because he had failed to pay his taxes.
Just an IRS situation. Listen, a lot of y'all don't understand how the shit work because y'all not on that tax bracket, right? What happened was that I didn't report my taxes for 2020, 21, 22, and 23. Those years, I done paid $6 million, $2 million in 2018, $1.3 million 2019. For the year of 2020, I'm at $1.8 million. Over $6 million went to the IRS.
Claiming that he simply forgot to pay his taxes for 4 years. For the internet, though, to see someone like 6ix9ine, who has certainly had no problem flexing his deep pockets in the past.
You got 1 house right here, 2 houses right here, 3 houses right here, 4 houses right here, 5 houses right here, maybe 2 houses right there, you feel me?
Does money dictate everything you do? Yes, what the
You're not here for car selection?
No.
For the internet to hear that 6ix9ine's chains and plaques were being auctioned off made for perfect viral headlines. However, with that being said, is all press good press? Well, 2 things were made certain after this news. First was that basically the entire world now believed that 6ix9ine is broke, adding on to his piling embarrassment. But while 6ix9ine will likely never see any of those original music plaques that he had earned ever again, as we saw though during his recent stream with academics, 6ix9ine has slowly been rebuilding his wall of lost plaques, thanks to the help of Elliot Grange, aka the CEO of Atlantic Records.
The IRS took my shit, so look, you can...
Wait, the IRS took the plaque?
Yeah, look, this is to Elliot Grange. Elliot gifted me that.
Oh, shit.
Elliot gave me...
Wait, why the f*** they took the plaques?
Nigga, they thought that shit was memorabilia.
Did they sell for mad bread?
Mad bread.
It did?
15,000 bucks.
You're lying. Yeah. Niggas bought your plaque for 50 bands?
Yeah, so get away from it, nigga. Don't try to take it.
That's Elliot shit, though. Yo, if that nigga Drake saw that, would destroy that shit. He beefing with Lucian and Elliot. Wait, so none of these are the ones issued to you?
Nah, they all Elliot and 10K. Elliot did me a favor. He signed all them shit.
6ix9ine definitely still has a long way to go to get all the missing plaques, but when it comes to stuff like his jewelry, there's no replacing items like this one-of-one chain. However, the second thing that this viral IRS auction did was, once again, launch 6ix9ine's name right back into the top of conversation. The truth is, 6ix9ine has mastered the art of turning viral hate into millions of views and maximum attention. Whether positive or most times negative, social media loves the unexpected, and that is exactly what 6ix9ine brings. From examples such as him dissing late rappers like King Von, pulling up to the Ops Hood in dangerous places like O Block, or most recently, attempting to jump in on all the snitching allegations between Young Thug and Gunna.
I never told on my friends. I don't tell on my friends, nigga. Them niggas wasn't my mans, nigga. Y'all know they wasn't my mans. That's what hurt y'all. These niggas is telling on their friends. Niggas didn't even ask him. Niggas said, take my number. Here's my number. Call me, but don't tell nobody about my number. What?
When When it comes down to it, 6ix9ine's strategy is simply to gain attention via controversy and then instantly release a new song, hoping that one will eventually hit like the old days. So, has it been working? Although the gaining attention part definitely has, 6ix9ine's music career though is continuing to look worse by the day. Sure, he's tried the classic route of tapping into Latin music, and while you may be saying, yo, his music videos still get millions of views, considering that he literally just admitted to botting his stats to Vlad and paying for streams, personally I would not trust most of 6ix9ine's numbers. Combined with having already burnt all of his bridges with other rappers, while today 6ix9ine may be staying in million-dollar mansions in South Florida, as he will even tell you, 6ix9ine is still in deep financial trouble.
You know, I did something that I didn't know how to manage my money, so my accountant wasn't writing nothing off, So I got into a problem with the IRS after me paying. So right now I done paid $6 million to the IRS. I think they want right now, me talking to you right now, present time, I think they want $2 million more.
Another $2 million for some
remember,
shit,
so that's
shit.
$8 million.
Admitting to Deshae Frost last week that he used to not know how to manage his money in the past, while we just covered that 6ix9ine's music career is currently buried in the dump, according to DJ Academics at least, it is one secret agreement in 6ix9ine's contract that is forcing him to link up with all these streamers, which is the reason why he is still relevant today.
This is how much content content matters. I think recently, 6ix9ine just got a re-up on a record deal. The offer they sent him, they said, yo, you have to stream. Which is crazy.
Really?
You gotta stream.
That's crazy.
You know, they got shit to check your numbers and how hot you are. And they're like, yo, off of the last few months of you doing podcasts or whatever, there's an uptick in your music streams. Mm-hmm. So if we gonna sign you for more music, we're gonna leverage the fact that when you do content, your streams goes up. So we're gonna force you contractually to do it. Which I think that's I'm kind of with that shit.
Here in 2025, 6ix9ine is actually contractually required to be a content creator alongside his music. Now, in my opinion, like Academics also agreed, this seems like a good deal for both sides, and 6ix9ine is already seeing the benefits. In just this past month of October alone, besides your classic 20v1 style YouTube video next to Charleston White, Tekashi 6ix9ine has also been linking up with multiple streamers and influencers, resulting in viral clips such as these.
And he listened to when I say something. He listened to me.
You like the alligator talker?
Come, look. Just try to record him. I'm gonna stand here and call his name.
You see him, Kim?
Yes. All right. Just record him. All right. Cocoriling. He's moving? Yeah, he is. Cocoriling. Yeah, that nigga listen to me, bro.
Nigga, you're the alligator whisperer.
Word. That nigga listen to me. You see that nigga? Word.
I hate 6ix9ine's music, but I can't lie, he is hilarious. The top comment reads, 6ix9ine needs to be a full-time streamer. Putting his full personality out on display in these live streams, while various funny clips have been circulating, nothing compared to his new interview with DJ Vlad.
I initially said no because the amount of money was too high, right? I never paid this much for an interview.
And you're not going to say how much you paid him? I think you should not, so I back that.
Despite initially saying he would never do it, Vlad would not only change his mind and interview 6ix9ine, but again drop the biggest bag that he has ever spent for this 3.5-hour interview, which it's clearly paying off.
These niggas is capping. Lil TJ almost lost his life in a fucking Chipotle, nigga. Getting a burrito. Why am I even beefing with him? Nigga almost lost his life over some Chipotle chicken, nigga. I'm not beefing with you, nigga.
Pulling up to 6ix9ine's Florida house at 1 a.m., and with this gigantic lawn chair in the background, released in typical Vlad channel fashion and chopped up into over 30 segments, all of these clips are racking up millions of views every day across every social media platform, as 6ix9ine has once again become impossible to avoid. This time though, opting to wear this purple short-haired wig.
To remind you, you bald-headed, no edges having assholes. Let me just cut to the chase. This right here is my hair. I do this. Look, and I'm gonna say it real quick. Yo, don't get my face right here. I do this because I want to do it. You do it because you have to do it. You bitches is bald. Now, he's so sassy. No, you're bald-headed.
After watching their interview absolutely explode, Vlad and 6ix9ine are even running it back for a part 2. And of course, as he always does, in an effort to try and capitalize on this virality, 6ix9ine just released a new single. This one titled Facts, Wham! Call Me. But again, especially compared to his recent streams and viral clips, this song made zero noise. Here in 2025, whether he wants to admit it or not, the truth is 6ix9ine is no longer famous for his music, but instead, 6ix9ine is now simply just a social media personality rather than a rapper.
I'm not gonna interview 6ix9ine, I'm not gonna stream with 6ix9ine because it's a trend. It's not cool. Being me, I'm really cooler than y'all niggas. I'm talking facts. Glasses off. Stop trying to be down. Stop trying to be cool. I'm really funny than y'all niggas being me. I'm really him. I'm really me. I don't gotta act. I don't got nothing. This is really me.
The one thing that 6ix9ine has definitely never lost is his confidence. And in an industry like live streaming that feeds off of chaos, I'm honestly not surprised by his recent resurgence. But with a contract now that literally requires him to stream, 6ix9ine is not going away anytime soon.